Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but this one could not possibly be brief. I'm sorry. Now, I really wish I was coming back to y'all under better circumstances, but here we are, 4 months into bombs raining on Gaza. Companies and countries conducting business as usual, waiting to see if we care enough to stop sourcing conflict minerals in the Congo. Black kids still getting expelled for their locks over here. Lawmakers literally overriding and vetoing gender-affirming care, and it's an election year. My God, today. And before I say anything, I know many of y'all are looking to me to have all the answers, but we're gonna have to figure this one out together. Now, I met y'all during an election year, and in that year, 2020, after seeing so many black people killed due to state and police violence, the primary concern for many of us was to pull the rug from underneath all the newly enfranchised racist civilians and policemen who believed being a white man killing a black person was a recipe for getting away with murder. At that time, Donald Trump had ushered in yet another era in our history of white backlash in response to black progression. So at the time, Joe Biden was our way out. Unfortunately for us, this late in the game, the Biden administration threw away any chance of maintaining their already disconnected and discontented voter base by aligning itself with genocide, leaving the American people in tumult without enough time to rally behind another candidate with certainty, and it's almost as if it were on purpose. So it would be irresponsible of me to tell you to vote for them at this time, so I won't. I'm gonna just tell you what the landscape is giving. As far as our Democrats, we have Dean Phillips. He's a 55-year-old three-term congressman from Minnesota. He's positioned himself as a younger alternative to Joe Biden on the ticket in hopes of ushering in a new generation of government. He is also the previous co-owner of Talenti Gelato, which means the man knows ice cream, and he also knows business. So economically, he's in favor of policies that are both pro-worker and pro-business. He's also pro-universal health care, does not believe that the government, especially men, should have a say in women's reproductive rights. Hello, praise God. Since. However, he's lost the New Hampshire primaries, so if you're interested in my boy, do some research and give him some love in your city. Next up, Marianne Williamson. Y'all seen Coach Carter, Akilah and the Bee? She the one who wrote, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure." She is also for universal health care with an emphasis on preventative care and anti-competitive pricing. Stands with the girls on reproductive justice, women's rights, and making climate change correction a top priority. Thank God. Shorty is also into alleviating poverty, creating jobs, and increasing overall prosperity, but she also ran back in 2020, and you should be reminded that she is not a politician by trade, which could maybe be a good thing, but she also has 3 unsuccessful campaigns under her belt. On the other side of the aisle, who cares? Donald Trump going to jail, but he's also going on the ballot. Ron DeSantis dropped out, but who knows if he's going to pop back on the ballot as a running mate. What you do need to know is that regardless of whoever is going to be on the ticket, the Republican Party has been planning Project 2025 since 2022. Project 2025 is formally known as a presidential transition project. This is a plan for conservatives to take over what they call the deep state so they can push our government into practicing a unitary executive theory of government, which means instead of checks and balances, the president would have absolute power. Y'all, they got a book and they call it a mandate. They have a 180-day playbook starting January 1st of 2025 in each federal agency. This is why you hear people saying you may never get to vote again, not just because Donald Trump said he was going to be a dictator from day one. They got a training program, y'all. It's all on Google and it's not a secret. Seems to me like it should be illegal, but the right and the left keep showing us that shit that should be considered illegal is getting done in broad daylight every day. And this isn't me trying to fearmonger you into voting for the Democratic Party. This is me letting you know that these motherfuckers are prepared, making sure that you are informed that January 6th was just practice. They are openly planning a coup from the inside. Over 90 organizations support this, including ALEC, not surprised, the Frederick Douglass Foundation, what? And something called Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. They're already letting you know what type of time they're on. So I'm sure you want to know what other options you have outside of these two. So here are some leading third-party candidates. Now, it would also be irresponsible of me if I didn't say that honestly and realistically, the chances of a third-party candidate winning are extremely low, but only because we waited so long. And that is partly our fault. We were so stressed about the last election and how the Democrats would allow us to escape tyranny that when the election was over, we were too busy making sure the sitting president did what he said he was going to do. Too busy to start planning for a third-party candidate to disrupt the wave, at least not collectively or out loud for that matter. And while a lot of us may fully agree with third-party platforms, statistically, a third-party vote can become a throwaway vote because it takes away votes from the 2 clear frontrunners, leaving more of a chance for either one of those to win. And unless we actually grind with a third-party candidate at least 4 years, 8 would be better for the country to get to know and trust them. Voting for them becomes more of a theoretical act of resistance that could actually bite us in the ass. Still, in this climate, we are clamoring for somebody stable, somebody younger, somebody who cares about our rights and the rights of marginalized people across the globe. So only time will tell whether or not these candidates are a viable option for us this time. We've got Robert F. Kennedy. Yes, those Kennedys. He's anti-war, believes government should be in service to the people, wants to increase wealth, has really great views on prison reform, community repair, housing, and racial equity, but he's also anti-vax and a secret right-winger. So we've got Jill Stein, a Green Party candidate and environmental activist, and she keeps on running, so let's pay attention to my girl to hear more about what she got to say. Then we've got Cornel West, progressive activist and scholar who's saying all the right things. He wants to abolish poverty and homelessness, to end the iron grip of the ruling class and ensure democracy, and he wants to ban stock trading from government officials. Hey, but word is he can also be a little bit zealous catalyst, so we got to keep an eye on him as well. All of this is to say, we as a people have to start moving different if we want different results. At the close of last year, we saw the world upended in a way that it never has been before. This election is important, sure, but we are split as a country in more ways than one, and we can't keep allowing a two-party system to put us in like this one. There are a few ways we can do that: boycotting, divestment, and striking, but only in concerted, unified, and organized efforts. Look at Starbucks. One demand for their union to pull a tweet in support of Palestine cost them $11 billion in market value, not in profits. And just last week, NASDAQ projected double-digit growth for Starbucks in Q1 because the boycott doesn't seem to be widespread enough. Where's Bayard Rustin when you need him? The civil rights era really needs to be studied for far more than good stories and good men. Hello? They were successful because the people involved had converged interests based on race, class, geographical area, and a common oppressor. And they were also primarily the ones using the bus system, meaning that they were the ones that were keeping the lights on. Now, there are a lot of issues that we can converge on right now. So my question to you is, what lights do we as a people keep on together, and how can we turn them off? Allyship is being called into question here, and exactly how many people care enough to become politically involved? Because regardless of who's in the office next, they can't do anything without our ignorance. So how do we become informed? And how do we engage in a way that doesn't put our bodies on the line? They done showed us time and time again they don't care nothing about our protests, but they will think twice, maybe 3 times about them ducats. That's it and that's all.